Cybercrime is evolving faster than ever. From phishing emails to AI-generated deepfakes, scammers are using every trick to steal your money and identity. Reports from the FBI and FTC show billions lost to online fraud, with cryptocurrency scams leading the way. They're not just hacking systems anymore, they're hacking people. In this video, we'll break down how these scams work and how to protect yourself before you become the next target.
Hey, welcome to our explainer. Today, we're diving into something that, let's be honest, affects every single one of us, cybercrime. But we're not going to do some super technical, jargon-filled deep dive. Nope, we're going to talk about this for what it really is, a matter of your personal digital safety. So, let's jump right in.
To really get a sense of what we're dealing with, I want to start with just one number. By 2025, the annual cost of cybercrime is projected to hit $10.5 trillion. And no, that's not a typo. That is a mind-bogglingly huge number, almost impossible to wrap your head around.
So, how big is it really? Well, to put it in perspective, the cybercrime industry is now on track to be more profitable than the entire global illegal drug trade combined. This isn't just some niche thing for tech geeks anymore. It's one of the biggest shadow economies on the planet, and it's built by targeting people just like you and me. Okay, to make all this feel a little less abstract, let's try an analogy. I want you to think of your digital life. You know, your email, your bank account, social media. Think of it all like your house. The locks on your doors? Those are your passwords. And all the valuable stuff inside? That's your data. Cybercrime is really just the digital version of somebody trying to pick your lock, or maybe trick you into opening the door for them. So today we're going to build your digital home security system. First things first, let's get inside the head of a cybercriminal. Because if we can figure out why they do what they do, we can build a way better defense against what they do. What I love about this breakdown is how much it cuts through all the noise. I mean, we hear about government spies and these hacktivists in the news all the time, right? But look at the actual risk for an average person. It's super low. For the vast majority of criminals targeting you, the motive is brutally simple. It's about money. They want your bank info, your credit card numbers, your passwords, your data, anything they can sell. It's a business, plain and simple.
So, how do they get it? Well, their number one tool is something called phishing. This is the method of attack. It's that fake email you get from Netflix saying your payment failed, or a text message from your bank that says you have to click a link right now. It's any message that's designed to create a sense of panic, to get you to act before you have a chance to think. And what happens if that trick works? Well, usually, the whole point is to get you to install malware. That's just short for malicious software, and it's the nasty program that actually does all the damage. It could be a virus, spyware that secretly records everything you type, or even ransomware that locks up all your files until you pay up. And this, right here, is the perfect way to think about the difference. Phishing is the lure. It's the shiny bait the attacker dangles in front of you. The malware? That's the hook that snags you when you bite. That fake email is the lure. The virus it installs is the hook. Simple as that. Okay, so now we know what they want and the tools they're using. So let's talk about how to spot them in the wild. You could think of these as the digital footprints they accidentally leave behind. All right, here are 5 huge warning signs to look out for. First, those suspicious messages that try to create that fake sense of urgency. Second, if your computer suddenly starts running terribly, malware eats up a ton of resources. Third, keep an eye out for any unfamiliar activity. This could be a login alert from a city you've never been to, or even really small, weird charges on your bank statement. Scammers love to test stolen cards with a $1 purchase. Fourth, if a buddy texts you saying, "Hey, I got a really weird message from you," that is a massive red flag that your account has been hacked. And finally, for any business owners listening, if your website suddenly gets flagged as not secure.
Now, why is learning to spot these signs so incredibly important? Well, because of this number. A staggering 95% of all data breaches involve some form of human error. It's usually not some genius hacker breaking through a firewall. It's just a person clicking a bad link or using a really weak password. And you know what that means? It means we're both the biggest weakness and our own most powerful defense.
So let's build that defense. This part isn't about scaring you. It's about empowering you. We're going to walk through the simple but super powerful steps you can take right now to make yourself a much harder target.
Okay, these are the big 4, and I promise they will absolutely crush your risk.
Look, if you only do one thing from this whole explainer, make it step 1. Get a password manager. It completely solves the password problem for you. Step 2. Turn on two-factor authentication, or 2FA. Think of this as the deadbolt on your digital door. Even if a thief steals your password, they can't get in without your phone. Step 3. Keep your software updated. Those constant updates aren't just for new emojis. They're patching up critical security holes. And finally, step 4. The human firewall. Just think before you click. That single moment of skepticism is your best weapon.
And hey, a quick but crucial note for any business owners watching: your number one absolute best defense against a ransomware attack is a recent offline backup. If a criminal locks up all your files, you don't have to panic or negotiate. You can just wipe the machine, restore your data, and get right back to work. All right, let's talk about the worst case scenario. You see the warning signs and you get that sinking feeling in your stomach. You've been hacked. The absolute key here is not to panic. Panic is your enemy. You need to act fast, but you need to act smart. Here is your emergency checklist. First, disconnect from the internet. Pull the plug, turn off the Wi-Fi, just cut it off to stop the bleeding. Second, grab a different, clean device like your phone and immediately change your most important passwords. Start with email and your bank accounts. Third, run a full, deep malware scan on the infected computer to find the threat and get it out. And fourth, get on the phone with your bank and credit card companies and let them know what's going on.
And when it comes to ransomware, where they're demanding money, the official guidance could not be more clear. The FBI says it right here: do not pay the ransom. There is absolutely no guarantee you'll get your files back, and you are literally just funding their next crime. This is exactly why that offline backup is your ace in the hole.
Okay, so let's wrap all this up. The goal of all this digital security stuff isn't to become perfectly unhackable. Honestly, that's impossible. The goal is much simpler. It's just to be a harder target than the person next to you. So, here's the bottom line. Cybercrime is a massive business, and like any business, it looks for the easiest path to profit. That means targeting easy victims with weak, reused passwords and old software. But here's the good news. You do not need to be a tech genius to be safe. Simple habits, like the 4 we talked about, are way more powerful than any complex tech. Seriously, if you just do 2 things, use a password manager and turn on 2FA, you immediately become a much, much less appealing target for criminals.
And that brings us to our final thought. We've gone over the threat, the tactics, and the defense plan, but now it's all about action. So the question I want to leave you with is this: what is the number one security step you are actually going to take this week? Thanks for watching.